Alright, the camera memory card filled up on me there because I'm too long-winded, I guess.
So what happened to the other?
So, again, we're on page 173, numbers 9 and 10. The question is, what is the area in square feet of the cement surface being built? Well, if we look at it, the cement surface is that smaller rectangle. So all we got to do is find the area. Area of a small rectangle is length times width. So if we put in 120 and 180, Cedric, what do we end up with?
120, 180?
Yep.
21,600.
You did 120 times 80?
Yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah, 180.
Sorry, 120 and 80. I might have said that. My bad.
Oh well, I got 9,600. Great,
that's what I got too. All right, now number 10. The question is, what is the area in square feet of the grassy area? So the grassy area was the darker blue part outside of it. So here's what we can do. We can figure out the area of the entire rectangle, the bigger one, right? So we got 250 times 150. 250 times 150. And what do you get there, Ced?
I got 37,500.
And we should be able to knock off that previous 9,600 that we found.
So take away 9,600.
Minus 9,600, yep. And we should get something like 27 what? 9? 27,900 square feet. Oops, feet and squared. Alright. So be it. So that was pretty much the idea of these. There are some word problems there. You're welcome to try them out. If you get stumped or don't understand, go on Edmodo and ask questions. Remember, the answers are in the back of the book. You guys got to look up by page number. Even tells us where the answers are on the bottom of the page there. Alright, let's move on now. And I'm going to move to another part of the book, and it's page 274. And now we're going to start dealing with, it's triangles and parallelograms, but I really want to focus on triangles. And triangles are actually, I mean, when you think of it, they're like a half of a rectangle or a half of a parallelogram. They kind of show that in some of the drawings. But for that reason, triangles shouldn't be that tough, but people always look at that equation. And the equation for it, remember at the beginning of the test we have those equations always? Mm-hmm. If you look, they give you 1/2 times the base times the height. And for whatever reason, that doing 1/2 on there just bugs people like nobody's business. I'm always looking at going, just take it easy. It's not that bad. Here's what I always say. Do the base times the height first, and then multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2. Did you hear that? It is cutting it in half. So let's just do base times height and then cut it in half or divide it by 2. Alright? So swing over in your brain and in your eyes to page 275. And there's a bunch of different triangles, and the directions say find the perimeter and the area. Well, we remember how to do perimeter. That's adding up each side if you've already watched that video. We'll focus on just the area part. So number 1, we are going to do 1/2 of the base times the height. Well, the base in this case is 23. 23, and I know I usually redraw them, but I'm not going to redraw this one because it's not that bad. And the height of this one, if you're seeing it, there is 6. So we'll do 23 times 6, which is equal to what, Cedric?
138.
He threw in the calculator and got 138, and then we'll do the half of it. Okay, so what's half of 138 or 138 divided by 2? Should be 69.
It's 69.
It is. So it's 69. So really, what's nice about triangles is it's like you're using the same basic formula as a rectangle, only instead of length and width, they say base and height. Don't get all wigged out by it. It's basically the same. When you think about it, it's like the length of the base, and then the width is kind of like if it was a rectangle, that would be our height. So it's not that tough. So another triangle is shown in number 2. Number 2, and it's kind of like an upside down triangle, isn't it, Cedric? Mm-hmm. You see that? So just because it says base, the base does not have to be at the bottom. You know what I mean? So they got an upside down triangle. So on this one, what's the base as we're looking at it?
The base is 10.
The base is 10. And the height, even though it's upside down, we'll still think of it the same way. It's kind of like up and down, right?
8.7.
Is 8.7. So all we're doing is we're going to find half of the base times the height again. So it's 10, right? Times 8.7. And that should equal 87. Okay? And then we find half of that, or divide it by 2. What's 87 divided by 2? There you go.
43.5.
43.5 or 43.5, right?
Yep.
So it really is a pretty simple one. Number 5. Right there. There's the last triangle for you. I'll leave that one up to you. Check your answer on it. If something's wrong, go ahead and give me a shout out on Edmodo, and I'll see if I can help you figure out what went wrong.
And give me a shout out too.
Give Cedric a shout out too. I mean, he's on there. He's one of them. The other figures we see there are the parallelograms. Parallelogram. It just kind of rolls off nice, doesn't it? And parallelogram is kind of like a stretched out rectangle. So all you got to know is they, instead of length and width, they use base and height. But it's basically just like a rectangle. It's this times this. One step. So in number 2, it would be 4 times, the height is 4 there, right? And the base is 12 in this case. So 12 times 4 is 48. Done. Number 4, identify the base right here. Base is 8, height is 3. It's 8 times 3, which is 24. And number 6, if you're paying attention, you'll be able to real quick identify your base, which they give you the number on the top. Don't freak out. Remember what we just said? Sometimes the base can be on the top. It's not a big deal. Don't get too stuck up on that. And then our up and down, or our height is right here, and I'll let you solve that independently and look it up. So that's pretty much what we got for a rundown of area for triangles and rectangles. There's only one thing left, and that's those things there, circles. And circles have a whole different set of rules. So what I'm going to say right now is do this. Go ahead and we'll end this video, and I'll start a video for circles, okay? And what I want you to do then is I want you to go to the back of the book and look at the post test, look at the simulated test, and see if there's any area problems that you can find on there that involve triangles or rectangles or parallelograms, any of that stuff. Just search them out, look for the word area, look for those drawings of the figures, and then read about it. And if that's the case, go ahead and solve them and see how you do. Alright? Alright, good luck with that. And the next video in area will be circles.